Hi, my name is Devin Hardy, and I'm an environmental studies and visual arts major in Bowdoin's class of 2013, and I'm a surfer. So my proposed Watson question is really an intersection of three of my own passions, and I want to look at the relationship between surfing, community service, and marine conservation. I've found that there's definitely a stigma about being a surfer, that we're all just bums, that we're only on the quest for the next big wave, and that we're pretty much just adrenaline junkies. But in my experience, I've found that that is entirely untrue, and that most surfers do have concern for both the biological and the human communities that occupy the coastlines where they surf. So I really want to look at that relationship and figure out what drives surfers to want to act and to want to do something that will give back either to those communities or in a conservation sense and protecting the environment and the oceans. I feel like I was really inspired by this story that I heard about two professional surfers who realized that they had a rare opportunity in their surf career while they were traveling all over the world to these really impoverished towns to be able to give back to those communities. So they started carrying water purifiers with them, and they would identify one individual in the town that they thought had extraordinary promise, and they would teach that person how to use the water purifier, and would have that person in turn teach the town. And that seemed like such a brilliant way for them to be able to pursue their own passions of finding these off the beaten track kind of untouched breaks, while also giving back and making it a more meaningful experience by connecting with those communities. I've found that also in terms of ecological conservation, there's a similar response. And surfers are a group that really has a vested interest in maintaining this medium for their sport and keeping the ocean clean and safe. And that's manifested in this group that I found called the Surf Riders, who have become an international NGO with all of these different groups around the globe that do everything from local grassroots kind of beach cleanup types of actions to pushing for better pollution control in policy and on the governmental level. So I think that there's huge potential in this idea that people really protect what they love. And if you have that kind of passion for an arena, for a sport, that you'll tend to have a greater tendency to want to act on that. And I really want to look at what that looks like for surfers who get to be a part of these off the beaten track communities and who are invested in the ocean and in the coastlines in a really unique way. I've found this about myself, and that when I surf, it's this really meditative and contemplative experience where, despite the sort of common generalization that you're just catching wave after wave after wave, in reality, for the most part, you're just sitting in the water, and you have a chance to really just be in tune with everything around you. It's a very solitary experience, and I think it's something that's really moved me to want to do more ecological conservation work. I've worked in marine science internships the last 2 summers, and I think it's so much more powerful for me to be able to connect a passion that I have sort of on the individual surfing kind of hedonistic level with something that's really for the common good and is meaningful both to myself and the world. So I want to look at how that plays out and what surfers love and what makes them act. And that's it. Thank you.